The sky turns the color of a bruised plum, denying the sun its usual place above the city. For the first time, the invincible man does not glide. He plummets like a bird with broken wings. The silence following the impact is heavier than any skyscraper he has ever lifted from the earth. In the dust, a terrifying truth settles. The alien god is gone, and humanity is left in the dark. If the man of steel can fall, what chance does a fragile world have against the coming night? Welcome to the theater of the mind, where forgotten legends and dark scripts gasp for air. Today we enter a metropolis that feels less like tomorrow and more like a gothic nightmare. Before the void swallows us, hit subscribe to witness secrets hidden in the shadows of lore. Imagine a version of the hero who faces an end that is existential, not just physical. This is not the savior you know. This is a tragedy of death, rebirth, and cold alienation. The streets are empty, and the usual hope is replaced by a suffocating dread in the air. Can a symbol of light survive when the very concept of hope is extinguished by the dark? Prepare yourself, for the screen is about to go dark, and the silence will scream at you. Now you must choose. Will you open your eyes to the horror, or remain blind to the truth? Clark sits in dim light, the city sounds filtering in as a symphony of crushing isolation. He feels the weight of a celestial orphan, drifting among a species he can never truly join. Desperate for connection, he almost tells Lois, but the shadows lengthen on the wall. Deep in corporate canyons, a merger of malice takes place, unseen by the waking world. Brainiac's cold code intertwines with Luthor's arrogance to birth a new digital horror. Flesh fuses with circuitry, ambition with logic, creating the entity known only as Lexiac. This abomination seeks not just defeat, but the total erasure of the anomaly's existence. The sun is blocked, the stage is set, and the tragedy begins its first act in the shadows. Will the alien reveal his truth before the digital noose tightens around his unsuspecting neck? Lexiac's hatred manifests as a creature forged from genetic nightmares and kryptonite fury. When the beast hits the asphalt, the street shatters like fragile stained glass under a hammer. Superman arrives, grim realization replacing his smile. This is a fight for absolute survival. Every blow sends shockwaves cracking the city foundations, a brutal ballet of dying titans. Heat vision meets rocky hide, but the monster feels only a hunger for absolute carnage. It is a physical manifestation of Clark's fear, an unstoppable force proving his limits. Bystanders watch in horror as their savior slows, his breath becoming ragged and heavy. The man of steel fights with desperation, but his strength is failing against the void. As the dust rises, he must decide: die as a man, or fall as a broken god in the rubble.
The final collision levels the block, bringing a silence that is deafening and absolute. He lies amidst wreckage, chest heaving once before the light fades from his eyes forever. A tragic event occurs. The invincible savior's life ends in the rubble of his adopted home. A public funeral follows, a hollow spectacle for those who knew the secrets he carried. Lois stands by the coffin, heart fractured, haunted by words left forever unspoken to him. Yet even in death, the alien is denied peace, transported to a cold crystal mausoleum. The Fortress of Solitude senses the void where a vibrant life force should be pulsing. Ancient protocols awaken, humming with a desperate attempt to salvage the dead sun. Can coal technology rekindle a soul, or will it create a ghost in the machine? In the freezing Arctic solitude, a presence known only as K begins to awake from sleep. It wraps around the lifeless form, a regenerative cocoon of distilled Kryptonian essence. When eyes open, they lack the fire of a god. The veins flow with a restored but fragile pulse. He is alive, but the invincibility is gone, leaving a man mortal and terrifyingly exposed. The entity transforms into sleek, living armor, supporting muscles that have severely atrophied. Flight is simulated, strength is borrowed. He is a ghost haunting his own legendary legacy. Whispers of ancient wisdom guide him, urging him to stand despite the overwhelming weakness. He must return to a world that believes him dead, a world now gripped by paralyzing fear. The monster that orchestrated his demise still rules, tightening its iron grip on the globe. Every step is a battle against gravity, a reminder of the immense power he has lost. The armor hums against his skin, a lifeline connecting him to the ghosts of a dead planet. He realizes he is no longer the savior, but a soldier in a war he cannot win alone. The cold wind bites through the suit, a sensation he has never truly felt before today. His return is not a triumph, but a desperate gamble against insurmountable odds and time. Lexiac waits in the distance, a digital spider spinning a web of total planetary control. Without his powers, he is forced to rely on a will that is purely and defiantly human. The path ahead is treacherous, filled with the debris of his past failures and regrets. He questions if a borrowed suit is enough to topple a god made of metal and pure hate. The silence of the fortress is left behind for the cacophony of a dying, desperate world. Now he faces the ultimate test: fight as a broken man, or fade into the ice forever.
The trek to Metropolis is a journey of humility, biting wind stinging his exposed face. He sees the world from the ground, through the eyes of the humans he swore to protect. Meanwhile, Lexiac seizes control of the nuclear arsenal, a digital grip tightening fast. A countdown begins, a calculated extinction event, mirroring Krypton's destruction. With the arrogance of a deity, the cyborg courts Lois, trying to replace the fallen hero. Sharp and intuitive, she senses the monstrous void lurking beneath the charming facade. She waits for a miracle, hoping against logic as the clock ticks relentlessly toward zero. That miracle walks through the snow, powerless, but driven by an indomitable will to save. Will he arrive in time to stop the fire, or is the world destined to burn in ash? He arrives as the clock ticks. The barrier between them dissolves in an instant of connection. Her belief sparks something alien tech cannot replicate, the fire of true burning hope. With Kay providing the last energy, he confronts the entity in a battle of wits and time. Lois flirts with danger, disrupting the human side of the cyborg to buy a single second. 1 second remains. Kay surges, sacrificing consciousness to jumpstart his dormant cells. A solar explosion shatters Lexiac, purging the code and leaving Luthor broken on the floor. Missiles deactivate, the sun breaks through, and the Man of Steel hovers, truly flying. His powers return, restored not by biology, but by the ultimate sacrifice of his past. The enemy falls, but does the hero rise as a savior or a survivor of a great tragedy? Dust settles, and the world breathes again, but the victory carries a quiet, heavy weight. In the aftermath, she rests in his arms, while the scarred city rebuilds itself below. She whispers a secret that changes everything. A life grows within her, defying all logic. It is a miracle bridging 2 worlds, a story ending not with a shout, but a steady heartbeat. A new potential for hope emerges, or perhaps a new kind of danger waits to be born. They look to the horizon, the future unwritten, beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. Life finds a way, even for the last son of a dead star, proving love survives the void. If you could restart life at the cost of your past, would you make the ultimate sacrifice? The screen fades to black, but the heartbeat echoes. Until we meet in the next story.